What's going on, everybody? This is James Grandmaster Facts Voice, and this is the Facts Project. Got a special guest today, all right? Good friend, great indie comic book creator, CEO of Konkret Comics, my main man, Lonzo Starr, everybody.
What's going on, bro?
Man, got to give you the Apollo intro, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, I appreciate it. And I see that glorious book behind you.
Oh, do you?
Dope, glorious prop setup. I like the props set up over there. Uh-huh.
Is the only way I know how. So, first and foremost, this year, as far as Konkret Comics is concerned, as far as like the indie comic community has been concerned, it's been pretty fun.
It's been fun, bro.
So how do we look at it from your perspective? Like if we're talking about as horrible as the pandemic has been since March, how has Konkret been doing?
So I will say the pandemic, we had to literally, like the world did, we had to switch up. We had to like switch overnight because this year was our going out year. We was gonna hit every state comic book con we could.
Mhm.
So we had, I literally would say we had a con every month in a different state that we had planned. I had already put money down towards it.
Yeah.
All up the East Coast, we was rocking out. And so that started with our book signing was like number one.
Right.
But no, you know what? January was our number one. We did a Comic Con in January. Then we did our book signing in February. Then March, April, May, we had one every month. But March, we had to cut everything. And this is also the time we first put our books out online. This is when we first started selling our comic books like worldwide.
Mhm.
And it was scary at first because we didn't know what was going to happen with the pandemic. Like if people were going to be wanting to spend money because everybody's buying toilet paper and going crazy at this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody got cabinets full of Vienna sausages right now, right? And, and but surprisingly, man, it was like a blessing to just get everybody to just sit down and just really look at yourself and evaluate what you want to do, who you want to be, and how you want to build it. If you were a creator in this pandemic and you didn't build something new, like a new layer of yourself during this time, I feel bad for you because this was the time to get in that hyperbolic chamber like Dragon Ball Z and get it in. Cause
Yeah.
that's what we did, man. And I went in the beginning of this year, I didn't know nothing about online selling, like
Mm.
how to sell stuff online. Now I got multiple streams of selling income online because I had to do it.
So
You know what
you
I'm saying?
basically converted Konkret Comics into an e-commerce brand.
E-commerce brand, bro. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly, man. I don't think people understand through this period, I went through, we originally couldn't sell the products on our website because, you got to set up certain things for that. So I was using like a third party link to collect the PayPal money. Then I would ship out the books myself. So
Right.
over this course of time, I developed a partnership with a printer. Now I got a printer that's print on demand. I don't even touch nothing now, man. I'm hands off. I'm Birdman right now. You know
Oh.
what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying?
Big baby boy,
But
straight up.
yeah, man. So it was just like this year was the year of adapting. Like, just take a look at yourself, man. Would you be doing what you doing if we all wasn't staying in the house?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say that the incorporation of me doing a bunch of IG lives and evolving it into a podcast probably wouldn't have been on the list.
That's
But
what
the
I'm
thing is,
telling you.
I guess the cabin fever, how it was gonna play out, had to like then turn into like something that was gonna be like I had to make this shit work in the end.
You built another layer of yourself. You're
Exactly.
you're still the same,
Oh,
but
of
you now
course.
you have
Of
a
course
you
I'm
still
still
you now you have an extension. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's the dope thing. And it's the other thing that's dope about what happened to all of us is that we watched each other grow. We
Yeah.
watched everybody grow. And
Yes.
and you know what I'm saying? Like literally, bro. We watch people be born and then flourish into something crazy.
This is true.
So yeah,
It,
man, it was a crazy experience.
it is, but the thing is, like, there was this gigantic sense of community that started to happen between a lot of independent creators, a lot of companies, a lot of other comic books that necessarily probably didn't know each other before March.
Yeah.
And everybody pretty much during that time was going all through the same struggle. And inevitably, they all started talking to each other. And then they started realizing the similarities amongst each other.
Hmm.
And then it was like, oh, well, collaboration started to happen. It was like,
Hmm.
well, you know what I'm saying? I really dig your stuff. You
Right.
know, I've always wanted to jump into this genre and I've never known how to do it. Could you possibly show me? And everybody has been cool. I haven't seen no type of friction amongst anybody within the indie comic community as far as like how they wanted to go about um the collaborations between other creators. It's just been like an even flow.
Right.
There's been no ripples at all.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think too. The I forget who I was talking to, but it's like I believe why we are a community is because I think we're all trapped in the same algorithm, right? It's
Yeah,
like when you rock, I see you, Black Ramen Podcast, CNS Comics, Lost Children, Decimation Earth. These are the people I see when I get on my feed. And
yeah,
it's like we're just trapped in with each other.
yeah.
So now it's like seeing your neighbors cutting their grass. You come outside. Oh, what's going on, bro? How you
Ain't
doing
that,
over there? Same old. That's over here.
uh-huh.
And so but then you start getting familiar with that person's work. You start liking it, appreciating it. It's just like seeing a neighbor. You see how they treat their grass, then you start looking at the grass like, man, I like
Yeah.
them. I like what they're doing
Like
over there.
you
You know what I'm saying?
use a specific type of fertilizer. What type of fertilizer do you
What,
use?
what, what type is that, brother? Exactly. I got these little hedge clippers. I got to get that now.
Well, you like, yeah, well, I use I seed my stuff in the wintertime and then I let it like
Exactly.
marinate and everything like that. Like you're trying to just basically like build up the plans, but you're also utilizing the community in order to help you.
The community, yeah. And I think the other thing is that the other thing that helps is that none of us are making like the same people. We're
Mhm.
all we all have our stories are all very different. So there should be no sense of competition in this community. I I'm a fan of always looking at how to give my fans more, right?
Right.
So for instance, if I don't have a comic book coming out, but I know my fans like a podcast, I'm like, oh, check out Facts. Now I'm sharing your stuff like it's
Mhm.
mine.
Right.
It ain't mine, but it's allowing me to feed my people more stuff. So if I know some other comic book companies that got a Kickstarter out, hey,
Yep.
listen, all my supporters, slide over there and check them out. That's my family. And it just helps build the community, man,
It's
at the end
true.
of the day.
It's true. And I think necessarily amongst just comic fans in general, there was a bit of, I guess, complacency that started to happen amongst the big two to where they wanted to see different stories out. And then when the pandemic happened, it caused them to actually research content that was out there. And then come to find out there's so many indie labels out there that nobody even noticed. And
Hmm.
you start reading into the storylines of like, damn, I gotta get me some of this shit. Cause I can tell you
There's some
I've
dope
talked,
storylines out here.
yeah, because I've tell you, I've talked to friends about tons of indie labels, yours included. And,
Hmm.
and now when I speak to them, I just get 10 times more questions about how far deep digging can I go? Do they have something in this type of genre? Do they have something
Right, right.
with this? They're like, I've always looked for somebody of a cosmic level. What companies have like cosmic type characters?
Hmm.
Like, oh, well, you can go to Acolyte if you like. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's
right.
it's right there. They're into their second issue, and stuff is coming out. You know what I'm saying? And necessarily, it's just that research of looking for a brand new story, and that's what's appealing.
Exactly.
That's appealing to the customer. That's what hit me. You know what I'm saying? Back in like 2017, when I started going to Comic Cons and everything like that, you realize
Hmm.
that the indie section is way bigger,
Way in the
way
way in the corner
way in the
too.
corner, but almost like I'd say if we're talking about New York Comic Con and everything like that, so one of those bigger scale Comic Cons, there's like rows of
Yeah,
creators
exactly.
and
Yeah.
all their different comics and everything like that.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you got the big two, got their own little like gigantic sections, but they're more
They
so
own sections.
they're they're
Exactly.
they're multimedia companies now. They're not even selling comics.
Exactly. And you know what the funny thing is about cons, man? I think after this year, like cons are gonna have to really restructure where they put the the quote unquote indie section because we're huge now.
Mhm.
We're bigger than the big two now. I mean, they gonna have a little booth over there. All the actors and stuff gonna have their section, but the indie thing can be literally the majority of the event,
Absolutely.
and it should be like that.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like the resumes that are being built up strictly off of this year alone, the money that's being pumped into it. Like I think I was talking with somebody about it where I was talking about how Kickstarter hit another record. Last year, they hit a record $19 million
Hmm.
dollars based on just comic books within Kickstarter, basically independent comic book companies. This year, with I think it was like 2 months to spare, it had already hit $22 million dollars.
Exactly.
So like it was like more people were doing research, more people were trapped inside. They saw a lot of creations out there. People were making money. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
People had put out series in the past and only made like one. They put their goals at 1 2,000 and they hit.
Right.
You know, but now
Right.
you see cats like putting their goals at 1 and 2,000 and they're getting six. They're getting
Yeah.
eight. They're getting 10. You know what I'm
That's what I'm
saying?
saying, bro. And just imagine if, like, say, IDW had Concrete Comics, had Ray Comics, they had like two other big companies that did Kickstarters. Off of just four titles, they would have made close to $100,000
Right.
just based off of our Kickstarters and how much we made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that could have been just from four
Yeah.
different imprints they had underneath their company, which is probably making more than what they're making right now with all the titles they have. And that's now we got to understand the power we have in the indie community. Like, don't when they start coming and flashing them dollar bills to us, don't jump to it. We are in the power chair now. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? We hold the majority seats. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we got to really that's what I want from the indie community, us to really find a way where we can protect ourselves, man, and literally keep this community aspect up because we are the ones that have been on the back burners for the longest. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's it's just like the NBA, right? Being a writer in Marvel or DC, there's thousands, millions of people that play basketball. It's like 3% make it to the NBA, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something crazy like that. So yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, at like you said, at the end of the day, you got to realize the leverage that you have now, and
Mhm.
that's pretty much what's going to matter as far as like 2021 and going forth. Now let's talk about your team. You know what I'm
Uh-oh.
saying? So hey,
Trolls,
so,
trolls. They all trolls. They're
oh,
horrible. I'm held hostage. Uh-oh. Jamil, Onaji, they are terrorists within my own household. You know what I'm saying?
so
It's like, no.
so we're talking about Jamil Lessie, the creator of Absolver, and we're
Of
talking about
Absolver.
Onaji
He,
Rouse, who is the creator of Odina.
hmm And see, these guys also hold significant titles within Concrete Comics. Jamil Lessie, he's the art director. He's the guy that looks over all of our art, makes sure we're up to standard. Onaji's the general manager of Concrete Comics, so he's the one keeping us on that deadline. Like, hey,
Yeah,
we got we got a schedule to hit. We got stuff to do. And then you got Daniel DiCalvo. He's the editor in chief and also the creator of Andy Starboy.
yeah,
And he's the one that reads over all of our stuff, make sure it's tip top condition, the grammar, everything's where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And me, I hold the chair of the, I guess, director of operations. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. So not only does each person have a brand creative of their own, but they also hold a seat at basically overseeing all the comics that are coming out within Concrete Comics.
yes, yep,
Man,
yeah,
and a dope thing is, and I think we've talked about this in the past, is that all of you are not sitting like within the same neighborhood. It's not like a place that you can go
Not at all.
and you guys have like an office somewhere where you can all meet up. When was the first time y'all met up?
The first time I met Onaji was at our book signing,
Right.
and that was the last time I'm gonna see him. It's like no, I'm playing,
Damn.
but yeah, no, but yeah, the book signing was the first time I met Onaji. He lives in Atlanta.
And that was
Um,
January, right?
that was February. Yeah,
That was February. And the thing is, how long had you had known him
so
before that?
probably 2018, late
2018.
2018. So it was probably like a
Close to
year and a
2 years.
half before
Yeah.
I ever seen him.
Mm.
Exactly. You know what
And
I'm
y'all
saying?
y'all been working it. So for those of people that are listening in and understanding what he's saying, Onaji is from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo lives in New Jersey. Now
Hmm.
he's from Philly.
All
So
right, now,
you know,
right on.
yep. So literally kinetically through the web and just like doing virtual meetings and talking on the phone and everything like that. They've actually had the time to make a business without even talking to each other. You have to ask yourself, are you grinding that hard to where you have a business relationship with a person that lives states away?
States away, bro. And it's I always tell these guys like I'm just honored that they trust me to have a vision to do what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we all apply our powers and we cover each other's weaknesses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps us going in the direction that we're going in, man. You know what I mean? Because it's hard, but no great dynasty is built by itself or
Yep.
one man. Jay-Z didn't do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? It may appear that way,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't. He had a lot of good help in starting with Jazzo. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, with Jazzo was one of the first people that showed him the game, got him into these shows and stages. And I think he was opening up for Jazzo, right?
Yeah, he was part of
So,
the originators. Big Daddy Kane and Jazzo, and Jazzo brought on Jay-Z.
and people don't even acknowledge that because they don't know that existed. So everywhere has a beginning. I started off just wanting to do a theme song for a comic creator,
Right, because your
and
background was in music.
my background is music, and I seen Dark Eagle comics. I don't know if you checked him out yet, but his stuff's pretty dope too.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had an animation actually,
Wow.
and my boy Naeem sent it to me, and he was like, "Yo, check this out." And you know me, I'm a businessman, so when I seen the animation, I was like, "Oh, that's dope. I want to do the theme song for it." So then
Just
I
cut right in.
contacted him. I went through all the avenues, man. That's another thing for everybody that's listening, creators or just inspiring and to do anything creative. When you want something, there's always a way. Like don't send a person an email, they don't respond, and that's it. If they don't respond to the email, check out their Facebook, find their IG, find their Twitter, message them on everywhere you can. You can get to them.
Yeah.
You just got to be relentless at it. So that's basically what I did. And when I contacted him on his Facebook, he told me no at first. And I was like, bro, listen, I'm not charging you. I just want to do this for myself,
Right.
and you may like it. So he said, all right, cool. But he wasn't even really wanting a theme song for his thing. So what happened was he sent me a script so I could really understand the character so I can write something dope for it. And by me seeing a script is what led me to understand how to write a comic book because I was reading it and I was like, yo, this is a lot like writing a song. You know what I'm saying? How it's structured. And that's when like all my childhood dreams of me wanting to make a comic book just exploded.
Right.
And I did the song. He loved the song too, by the way.
Okay. I
And
was
I was
about to
very
say, I was
thankful
like,
for
did he
that.
did he take the song? Like he was
He
just
loved
like,
the song, and it's his current theme song right now. 3 years standing. It's still there, still rocking. You know what I'm saying? But that's what really drove me. Like it was like a rush, man. It was a rush. But it's funny how the universe does it, bro, because it really started when I made this song Clark Kent in 2016. Well, I put it out in 2016, but I made the song in 2014, and I made it, but it sounded different than everything I had out there. Everything else was like club tracks and stuff like that. But this
"Mhm,
Clark Kent thing, it was like I really dove into my knowledge of Superman. Like everything I knew, I related in like a relationship status of how women are often looking for Superman, but they ignore Clark Kent. And that's
mm,
what the whole song was about. So I described Clark Kent's observation of Lois Lane as she was ignoring his ass looking for Superman when he was right there the whole time.
Right.
So that was the whole concept to the song, right? But it was like at this time, that's when Superman and Batman was about to come out. Everything was just aligning for me to get into the comic zone. And it
Right.
started with that song I made sporadically for no reason. It,
Hmm.
it was like that song was what sparked all the comic book love and knowledge I always had, but it was buried in because I was so surrounded by these worldly things. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
And so Clark Kent led me to my first Comic Con because I was promoting the song. I said, why not go to a place where
Yeah.
comic book fans are? I had flyers, book bag. Me and a couple of my gangsters went up in there, and that's when I went to a Comic Con for the first time. Mind blown. A few months later, my boy sent me that video of an independent comic book creator, a black guy with
Okay.
his own comic book comic. Blew my mind.
Right.
Boom. And all that led to me wanting to make my own comic, which is Acolyte.
Mm.
And then, I'm all about owning myself, so I had to make it a brand.
Right.
And that's really where like that's really how it started, man.
It-
Like a trickling effect. You know what I mean?
now, Acolyte, where did that come from?
Well, I'm a church going guy, and I used to be an acolyte when I was
Had no
younger in
idea.
church.
Had no
Well,
idea.
first of all,
But
I'm not Jamil here, all right? Relax.
okay.
But so, but no, I was an acolyte when I was younger, and
Okay.
it's funny, man. Acolyte was written a completely different way in the
Okay.
beginning. I was I would say I was limiting myself because of what I was used to for black creators. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna have like a struggle in life, all that stuff we're typically prone to
Yeah.
write ourselves in.
Writing in trauma.
A- And that's where he was started at. But his origin, I would say the purpose of him is the same, but the way the origin is told is different. When I first created him, he was like on some Daredevil stuff,
Okay.
and it was dope. Like it was more so based around the church. It was like a man that had once believed but stopped believing, and but he still does these glorious things because he feels it's right, and it's all
Hmm.
about him finding his faith again and what he was, he originally believed in.
Right.
But the name comes from that's a title I once held in church, and the acolyte is the person that starts the ceremony. So
Mhm.
before the pastor comes out, the acolyte comes out, lights the candles, sets the room, gets everything set up. That was my job.
What
So
was it?
acolyte being the first hero of Concrete Comics, it makes sense for him to be the acolyte. He's starting the foundation.
What's
You
that?
know
The
what I'm
Catholic
saying?
Church?
No, no, no. I was in a Lutheran church, but it kind of has similarities to Catholic and Baptist. It's like both. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, okay. Got you.
It's not as dull as a Catholic. It's not as turned up as a Baptist. It's like it's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 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 Dang.
But,
Okay.
but yeah,
I ain't, yo,
yeah. So
I had no idea. See, that's the first time I've heard that story.
oh yeah, yeah. That's where the name came about. Now, within the comic book universe, it means something different. His father gave him that name, and it's gonna have the meaning of like the starter light of what all is created, and
Right.
so I mean I'm still gonna tie that into what I'm doing, but yeah, for the most part, man, acolyte is a reflection of myself.
Right.
He his story is mainly about a man that felt less than, like he didn't have enough power to stop things from happening that he really wanted to stop.
Right.
And then all along, he really had that power in him, which I feel that a lot of us struggle with in real life. We don't understand our true power we have, and we hide in the shadows and what people tell us we can't do. So
Mhm.
Acolyte represents that struggle. You know
True.
what I'm saying?
That's true, man. That's true. Now, with the exemption of Andy Starboy, I know that that is
Come
on
on now.
issue one. Um, you're now on issue two of all three books. So Odina's in issue two, Acolyte's in issue two, Absolver's in issue two. You've also
Hmm.
had the ads mini book that basically came out during Juneteenth.
Right.
So like you have a substance, a universe built within Concrete Comics that already has 4 to 5 characters set up.
Hmm.
Now, like to start your universe that big is necessarily not. not the norm for a comic book company. A lot of them just start with the one book. We're gonna go
Right.
with one storyline, and we're gonna see how that pans out. Y'all came right out the gate with
Right.
with three.
Right. Right. Right.
So like automatically from jump, it kind of just made you guys a little bit more different than everybody else because it was three books, three different creators, and trying to build upon a universe which nobody had necessarily seen because you're going to get basically all three facets all at once.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
how do you necessarily like feel as though like that fits the mold of your company that like that you guys you have the confidence that that you could just come out as a team first, all three individual comics. You know what I'm saying? Like the the Lunatics didn't come out first.
Right.
Nelly
Right.
came out first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
straight up, like State Property didn't come out as a group. Beanie had to come out first. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
y'all chose like a whole different route. But like, you know what? Let's just give it all to them at once. Like, was that your decision or was it like a group decision? It was like, all right, let's just do it all in one hit.
Well, it was a couple decisions behind that, but it's funny you bring up music because it's really we went the Wu Tang route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whatever it is, like Raekwon got an album, Ghostface, Meth,
yeah,
we all got albums, brother. Engulf us all. You know what I'm saying? so,
right, right.
so like basically, it was. I would say, I would say it's a Concrete Comics exclusive fact right here, right?
Hmm.
So in the indie community, being an indie comic creator by yourself, usually it's a long wait in between,
Hmm.
which like, I mean, most of us can make one book a year, right?
This is true.
So I understood that, okay, with my other brothers that also have comics, we can bounce off of each other to spread out the time so that our fans can continuously get things. And it made it easier for all of us. For instance, if I drop a book, now I can build in the shadows while Absolver's about to come out. Now I can chill. Odina's coming out. Now Andy's coming out. By the time it comes back to me, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
My work's in, teacher. You know what I mean? We good. So it kind of it helps out that was the original mathematics to solve the equation of time. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Time was the issue, and that's how we figured out to fix that.
Mm.
But the other thing is everything like every character you see in Concrete Comics has been handpicked to be there. It's not just like somebody just coming to the character. I'm looking to fill a void right now. So when you look at Acolyte, Absolver, they're night and day. One is deep in the shadows, surrounded by the demons and the gory, the blood, the guts. Take Acolyte, he's in the highest of the highest levels of cosmic understanding. And
Right.
you take Odina, it's right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Earthbound, you're usually on Earth fighting Earth known problems.
Yeah.
And so now the three of them balance out the universe perfectly.
Uh-huh.
So if you come to Concrete Comics for the first time and you like blood, guts, and gore, you can go right downstairs, right to Absolver's room. You
Yep.
fine, you good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. If you like a team-based setting, Odina got you covered. If you want to go up to the stars with a Superman type of vibe, you got Acolyte for that. Now we're introducing Andy Starboy. We're introducing you to make more of a sci-fi vibe to the universe, and that also introduces the multiverse, which through him we'll be able to create even other random stories. And
Uh-huh.
then when you got the Watchman, he's like our first city-based character that mainly is going to stay right there. So
Right.
he represents that daredevil street level type of guy. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's like building a roster, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I want you to be able to come and get any if you're looking for it, we're gonna have it for you.
Now, tell us about basically like the two newest. When we talked about Andy Starboy and we talked about the Watchmen series, Daniel's first comic coming out. Like I know he's got to be like beyond ecstatic for putting this
He's
out for the
beyond
first time.
ecstatic, bro.
For putting
Yeah.
this out for the first time for somebody who came here from Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Not even that long ago. And basically like learning the language and always having a love of comics and then putting out his own comic book for the first time. I mean, I know this is probably supremely special to him. and then you take on Lyle, if I remember.
Wow. Yeah. Hmm.
And he's from Chicago.
I believe he's from Louisiana, but he lives in Chicago. So yeah,
Lives in Chicago, and he's primarily young. So
he's
this
young.
you're taking somebody, you know what I'm saying, straight to the league right out of high school.
Straight to the league, man. I'm definitely Phil Jackson out here. You know what I'm
So
saying?
look, I was going to say LeVar Ball, but go ahead. You know what
Whoa,
I'm saying?
my man called me the OG.
Go
Huh?
off, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
My son better than Steph Curry.
so so I look at Lyle, like Lyle is this, you know what I'm saying, like this young, protege and everything that has his own concepts, own type of characters that he wants to put into the fold. And he had to have impressed you
He did.
in order to basically like sell you on a character that was like, okay, this fits in the Concrete universe.
Oh yeah, man. It's I think that too. Like it's the same with anything. I know that you can attest to this when it comes to either film or music, even podcasting or getting an interview. It's never usually just like, yo, what's up? Are you free tomorrow? Let's do it. If it's a big, something that you really want to do, it's gonna take time. So like I met Daniel last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like February, March. He messaged Concrete Comics, and I was talking to him for a while before I knew he was the guy I wanted to have on the team. It took him to get where he's to get to the point of in production. It took him about 5 months maybe for me to fully understand it. I
Mm-hmm.
knew he was going to be editor in chief like 2 weeks after I met him. No, he didn't know that,
Right.
but I knew that by what he was saying, what he was talking. And Lau was similar. Lau had originally hit me up to ask me if I could help him produce a book, like if I knew artists, if I knew this, I knew that. And through me just talking to him and getting to understand what he wanted to do, I learned about the character. I saw what he was trying to do, and then that sparked like, okay, I see what he's trying to do. I like his vibe. I like him as a person for one, and I
Which can.
liked what he was trying to do. He had a really good positive spirit about him,
Mhm.
and I genuinely liked this project, and I felt it would look good among all the rest of ours too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to have that Superman Batman effect. You know how I think like DC don't think they can sell anything unless Batman's in it.
True.
That's what they make it feel like. Because every animation, Batman's in it. Every book is somehow tied to dark metal or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dark
It's
Knight.
like
Yep.
it's like they have to tie Batman to it. So I don't want to make a universe where you need to see Acolyte and everything.
Yeah.
If you're not an Acolyte fan, you don't have to worry about him at all. We got other stuff for you. And I'm gonna get my rocks off regardless. And everybody else is too. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how we built, man. Should I say, it ain't no one man show here.
Hmm.
Everybody's the big dog here.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Now,
You know what I mean?
if we could talk about the accolades from 2020, I remember I think it was around July or August. Y'all got nominated for Glyph Awards, like a
Seven of them
bunch.
things.
Seven.
Seven of them things, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That was totally unexpected because some of them cats in them categories was seasoned, man. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
tell everybody what the Glyph Awards are.
Glyph Awards is the largest African American based comic book award show for indie creators and mainstream creators around the world.
Right. And
And it's
Concrete
yeah,
Comics ends up getting seven nominations
seven nominations, man.
between the three comics.
Yeah, 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 bro. It was crazy. It was a crazy feeling. It was. I didn't. My printing partner actually sent me a text like, "Hey, congratulations on your nominations." I was like, "What are you talking about? What nominations, bro?" And I looked. I was like, "What?" And I had to scroll up. Like, wait a minute, man. I know we ain't nominated on this thing, is we?
Yeah.
But we damn sure was, man. I told everybody I wasn't mad or I didn't feel no way if we didn't win or nothing like that. It was just the fact that we were thought of
Yes.
amongst the thousands of people that have submitted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So this was like for anybody that doesn't know, this is like pretty much anybody who is everybody within the indie comic realm, and pretty much standpoints as far as in the African American community,
Hmm.
you had like big ass names, like people that have put out like jarring shit, people that have worked for Marvel and DC and everything like that.
Well seasoned folk, man.
Yeah,
Well seasoned.
you know what I'm saying, like TJ Sterling and Greg Day and everything like that. Like these, like all these guys
Hmm.
have won these awards in the past. Kwanzaa Ozejefo for Black and everything like that. So when you guys
Yeah.
got included in that, and you basically put that out there on social media that you guys got nominated for seven awards, it was like, shit. Okay.
Bro, it definitely gives us the ability to talk heavy now, man.
Yes.
Sometimes, like you know, it's funny, man. It's sad and it's funny, but sometimes when you're trying to negotiate deals out here, like it's like, see me, I'm real humble. I don't even talk about that type of stuff like that, but I realized I have to,
Hmm.
so people can take us seriously now.
Yeah.
So you know, what I mean, getting nominated is a beautiful thing because it just adds value. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It adds value to what you're trying to do and how big you're trying to take it. You know what I mean?
True.
So
True.
yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Uh, there, the talks of expansion still within this gigantic universe that you've always like had this notion that expanding the universe for what it is still needs to happen, even though you have a catalog of maybe 4 or 5 characters waiting in the wings.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, yeah. So
clarify
yeah,
for me, brother.
man. So you know, we don't want to just limit ourselves to just the superhero genre. We have fans of horror. We have fans of sci-fi. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi. And
Same.
we wanted to create a catalog based company where we'll have a whole superhero based division. Then we're gonna have a horror division. We're gonna have a sci-fi division. I got like 2 sci-fi stories I'm actually writing right now that are gonna be dope, and we might have some people joining in that's gonna fill
Okay.
that's gonna be like the headliner to the sci-fi department, and even the horror division. We're probably gonna move Absolver to the horror division, let him because he's more so of a horror book. You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely think so. Absolutely.
So he's basically going to be the headliner of that. And then you know, books like Acolyte are they're geared for superhero adventure stories.
Hmm.
It's like it's not really no in between. So Absolver is going to be perfect for that division where we can really focus the marketing on that division and
Yeah.
push it to where it needs to go and center it to the right crowd that really wants to dive in on the dark side and in the sci-fi realm as well. We don't want to saturate these other books with series that aren't related to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah,
So this necessarily just puts you in a real comfortable position within the characters and putting them out on a consistent basis.
exactly, man. Because it lets us spread out because uh, when you marketing, usually shout out to Black Sands because they know exactly who the target audience is,
Oh
and
yeah.
they make projects straight up for their audience and they promote and market to that. So when you're marketing and promoting, you want to really know who your target audience is. So based off of the way Acolyte and Absolver look, people will buy them together. But
Yeah.
if we put Absolver in a literal realm where those people that love that are going to come to and stay at, then he's going to be selling out. Because
True.
somebody reviewed Absolver issue 2, said it's one of the best written books of 2020, mainstream and indie.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying, that book's getting raves. Somebody reviewed Acolyte. They said this is the they said Acolyte is the blue marvel we deserve. I
Which is
said,
true
damn.
because they sit on Blue Marvel for God knows how long. So, but for a character to even be mentioned in the same breath as Blue Marvel just fits.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That humbled me because I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and it kind of got my gears rolling with how I really want to push Acolyte to be. I want him to be the quote unquote black savior of the black fans of comic books. Like I want him to be our Superman. You know what I mean? The world Superman is right here.
Right.
This is this is our king now. You know what I'm saying? So you know what
So
I'm saying?
so what's 2021 looking like for Concrete Comic?
Scary. It's looking scary, man. It's you know what I mean. Sometimes I'll be afraid that I'm gonna put too much on my plate, but it always works itself out. You know what I'm saying? Always.
True.
And this year we're gonna try to do something that's very unseen from any other indie creators, man. And it's all content related. And we're built for the war. We're in a position to put out a nice amount of content right now. And if that calendar pans out, according to Mr. Onaji Rouse, when he looks at that calendar and says, "Nope, it ain't working. Nope, not this, not that."
Mm-hmm.
If if we can get it all rocking, man, it's gonna be crazy, bro. Trust me.
Well, hopefully.
That definitely Acolyte 3 is coming, Absolver 3, Odina 3. That's definite Andy 2. Lyle number 1 is coming early 2021. So
Mm-hmm.
be on the lookout for that. And I think I told you some of our ideas for February.
You did.
Trying to do something a little sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
I, I even got something sneaky to show of you, don't I? Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually do. I actually do. So
Right, right. I mean, hey, hopefully we we within this indie world get a chance to open back up, and for a lot of people in the indie world, not only yourself, get a chance to
Mhm.
actually make pitches to physical people, talking to
Right.
them directly and knowing exactly like what the characters and the universes actually look like in full color. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I know there's a lot of people out there now that they've gotten to see a lot of the necessary people who put their favorite storylines together's faces on social media or anything like that. It's only
Right.
right now that I'm not saying you guys going to bust down the doors and it's going to turn into a Michael Jackson concert or anything like that. But no, just people are, within the indie realm. It's different because you get to meet the creators, you get to meet the art,
Right. Hmm.
the people who essentially put those storylines together. You can
Hmm.
have face-to-face talks with them and everything like that. The one thing that was consistent with 2020 is that we were able to do it through the internet, able to do it
Right.
by IG lives. We were able, people necessarily research the content so they could actually see that person's face and everything like that. But
Right.
for it's different. It's more organic.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's definitely on a solar level that we can just get this done, and you guys get the shine that you deserve.
Oh yeah, man, dog. And I'm excited, man, because a lot of people been buying shirts and well, going into that bowling alley I did a couple weeks ago and seeing somebody with a concrete comic shirt on, that
Yeah,
was a crazy feeling, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah,
walking in and I'm like, yo, that logo look real familiar, man. You know what I mean? Let me see, is
right.
that my logo? And then it turned out to be my actual logo. So it's like man, just the love we get online, man. I gotta share my DM with you one day, man, so you can see these questions that come in. It's crazy,
It's got
and it's crazy. I get a guy that asks me every day a new question about Acolyte. Just off of him reading it, he'd be like, "Yo, man, so how did he know what was going to happen? Like, how was his father looking at him from the stars?" I was like, "Well, and now I got to explain it to him." And those are common conversations you have at Comic Con tables. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yeah,
So
I mean, I can honestly say that happens to a lot of comic book fans just reading their favorite books, and they have tons of questions and they don't know who to go to. So then we
right.
just talk with other fans, and
Hmm.
that's where you start to get like conspiracy theories about your books. Like,
Random stories, right?
right, right. But when you're actually talking to the creator, you're gonna get the correct answer every time. Just know that you if you're the fan, you're not gonna argue with the creator of how they put the storyline together or anything like
you
that.
you'd be surprised, brother. Some
Right.
cats would be like, well, that's not right. I'd be like, wait, bro. First of all, I'm the writer here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Relax, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Well,
Yeah.
bruh, I hope and pray that what I'm saying, we come out of this straight and that 2021 looks definitely well and good for everybody within the indie comic community, because the storylines need to get out there and the people, I think, just need to be seen totally.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Straight up, bro. And I think there's no other way for it to happen. I really hope that when we do get to be able to come outside again, that we still keep the same energy that we got online as
Exactly.
well.
I hope
You know
and
what I'm
pray that
saying?
like we don't break up and nobody starts talking again or everything. People stay off
Oh
social
yeah,
media for months and whatnot. It was like, look, at one point I knew where to find you. and
that's what I'm saying. That's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
hope that they as a business, because as far as getting out regionally, globally, and everything like that,
Right.
you have to stay on top of your socials. You got to stay on top of your
You gotta
marketing.
stay on top of the socials. Yeah, man. And you know what's crazy is that I think that with everybody having to be outside, it actually that's the reason why there's such an explosion of indies. Because other than that, you were only really seeing the people that were doing both. They were on social and going to cons. Those are the people that were flooding the timelines. So now that everybody was home, like you usually wouldn't see TJ online.
True.
He was TJ killing the cons.
The-
He's a con
yeah.
was a connoisseur. So
See,
now he had to come in the crib. Now he was rocking it in the crib. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
he was burning tires and driving cross country and going to Louisiana and Arkansas and all these places.
That's what I'm
Like, he
saying,
was
man.
telling me about these places. I was like, damn. I was like, they actually dig like comic books in these certain spots within the United
Hmm.
States. And he was like, bro, like you wouldn't believe.
He'd be everywhere. And that's what I'm saying. People like him and Todd McFarlane even was on here rocking out heavy. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Big companies doing Kickstarters now and stuff like that because they had to. So there when the world opens up, a lot of those big wigs are going to leave again and go back to making
right,
their mega money doing
right.
shows and being hosts and stuff. So
Hmm.
we're going to be able to keep this alive and continue it.
Right.
All we do is just hope everybody else stays and everybody else is still rocking with us. You know what I mean?
That's
So
definitely. Well, Lonzo, appreciate you, brother, for doing this.
appreciate you for having me on this world famous show. I am. You're looking at the next Charlemagne of comics down here,
Oh
man. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
god damn. Hey man, I can only dream, man. All I can hope is that I can get my voice out as much as possible and push you guys in the right positions. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you were the first person that included our name in the conversation, and you had big names included. I think you mentioned us with Stranger Comics and Black Sands,
Yep.
and it was somebody else, and I was like, yeah, dang, like that was. I ain't gonna hold you. When I heard you mention this with them, that's when I was like, maybe we're doing something right now.
You are.
Starting to get mentioned with them people. So
Absolutely.
and it's crazy, bro. The amount of creators that say there's creators out here that are popping that say, "Yo, you were like the first people I seen that was an indie comic company." Brett from Indie Comics Dispatch said we were the first indie comics he's ever bought,
Mm,
and we were the ones that started his obsession with
right.
this realm.
That's
And
what's
I'm
happening.
like, yo, that's
That-
a humbling thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's very humbling, bro. So it's crazy.
Definitely. Bro,
So
once again, appreciate you doing this. It's been real.
appreciate you,
I wish
brother.
you well in 2021. And for the rest of this, and have a happy holiday, my brother. And
Yeah.
how can, if anybody wanted to reach Concrete Comics, how would they get in touch with you?
You can go to the concretecomics.com. That's concrete with a K, as you see. Konkret comics.com. And it's the same way spelled on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I just got a clubhouse because of your ass. And 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 yeah, man, Concrete Comics. And I'm Lonzo Starr for everybody that may not have remembered that. But yeah,
All right, man.
that's pretty much it, bro.
It's been real. So Facts Project, we out.